What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goes are back with another superstar from the world of MMA, now dabbling in the bare knuckle world. That's right, BKFC's Diego Sanchez and Austin Trout. They've been signed to fight, and they're going to fight in their backyard in Burque. That's right, in Albuquerque
That's
on
right.
February 17th. BKFC Knucklemania 3. What's up, Diego? How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Just in the height of the training camp, where you're at that 1 month mark is a very crucial mark. I don't know I don't know about anybody else, but I know my whole entire career at 1 month out, you just dial everything in. You know what I mean? You stop smoking weed every now and then if you were for sleep. You know what I mean? You dial that diet in. You just everything's up, everything's accelerated, everything you're pulling out all the stops to just know in your heart and in your mind and in your soul that you earned that victory more than the other guy, maybe you suffered a little more on the mountain more than him. Maybe you were in the boxing gym doing better rounds than him, but you just got to do what you got to do in this last month to have that level of extra confidence.
hmm So, Diego, let me ask you something. This one kind of hit us out of nowhere. In fact, when I went into your Instagram, you almost welcomed Austin Trout like kind of like a homie. Glad to have you. Can't wait to see who you're gonna fight. And now it turns out to be you. Were you in favor of this matchup? Did you ask for him? Did
Absolutely.
he
The
give
way
you
the
a
way
first?
the way the matchup went down was like this. Me and Austin have always been tight through our connection through Rob Garcia. Rob Garcia was my boxing coach, strength and conditioning coach, worked with Oscar De La Hoya. So he worked with Austin a little bit. I was at some fights with Teresa Tapia back in 2019. And Austin was the main event, and it was here in New Mexico. So I got to meet Austin. I actually even gave him a present, a pair of some gloves because I was already past the point of training with big old 16 boxing ounce gloves. And so we're friends. Yeah, we are friends. And when I heard he signed with the BKFC, it was always an option because 165 was an option for me, but I was opting to fight at 175 pounds, and whether that be Mike Perry, anybody, any of the 175 pounds, the roster at 175 pound, there's plenty of talent. So I had this communication with Dave Feldman. We had a conversation about it, and he's like, "Well, what about Austin? Because we the first choice that we wanted was Nick Diaz. We wanted to get that Nick Diaz out of retirement, and unfortunately, he's under contract with UFC. It's not going to happen. So we're like, he mentioned it. He was like, "What do you think about Austin?" I was like, "Austin, that's 160." I was all 175 or 165, and he's like, "Well, Austin won't go no higher than 165." And I was like, "Well, you know what, Dave? Let's do this match because this match is going to pull from the boxing fans. This match is going to pull from the MMA fans and also from the BKFC fans. I think we get the year of the three. We're getting three fan bases. It's 2023, and we're bringing three fan bases to Knucklemania 3. So everything just aligns real perfect. And I was like, all right, Austin's the guy. I liked him, and I still do like him. He's cool, but the dynamics and the principles of this sport of bare knuckle fighting championship is completely different. And Austin Trout is a Philly shell fighter like Floyd Mayweather, except he's southpaw. And so being a being a Philly shell, you can't block like that in bare knuckle, man. You got a guy like me who's only got to go for 2 minutes of sprint, and I'm putting these bones on you. Whether I put these bones on your shoulder, on your arm, on your ribs, on your sternum, on your liver, on your stomach, it's gonna do damage. So you got to be aggressive, and you got to be aggressive, and you got to understand the inside in the clinch, dirty fighting, dirty boxing, and that's just something that's so when bare knuckle came around in 2019, started to get its little fire under its ass, I was like, I'm gonna get that little fire under my ass too because this sport was made for me. 2 minute rounds, inside fighting, no gloves, and pressure, pressure, pressure. And so this is going to be a great avenue for me to compete. And I just think it's going to be a real statement because a lot of people are like all scared for me, like, he went 12 rounds with Canelo. Their eyes are like this. He went 12 rounds with Canelo. Are you sure this is the guy? I'm like, come on, bro. This ain't boxing, and I'm not Canelo. And this is a different sport. And the moment that I get inside, the moment that I start throwing and firing on him, it's just a different sport, man. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to prove it to you guys. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. And I'm going to be very dominant. I'm going to be very successful. And yeah, you guys are going to be like, oh, yeah, I guess Diego had a little more in the tank still. Right.
Through your friendship with Austin over the years and through your mutual friends, did you guys ever link up and even get any form of training in?
No, we never trained together. No, we and he was down there in Las Cruces training down south, and I'm here in Albuquerque. We don't really like to go down south too much. You know what I mean? It's it is what it is. I went to high school. I did a little bit of college out there in New Mexico State, and there ain't much to do out there, and it's pretty boring to me. But we're cool and New Mexico love. But let's get one thing straight on this interview right now. Austin Trout is not from New Mexico. Austin Trout was born in El Paso, Texas. He's a Texan. And so let's not try to say this is New Mexico versus New Mexico. He might have lived in Las Cruces for a while, but he ain't a true born and bred New Mexican like myself. And so when he's coming to my he's coming to my city, man, and good luck, Austin. Good luck, bro. Dude, you don't even did you forget? Did you forget that it's hard to fight in Albuquerque? There's altitude and it's a pressure city, man. And you come from out of town, and you usually get dusted, usually get burnt out here. I'm undefeated here for a reason, and I run those mountains still.
Diego, I loved what you said at the beginning of this interview because it's something that I thought about. He is a professional boxer, but this isn't boxing. You're a mixed martial artist, but this isn't mixed martial arts. So what would you say is that one intangible that it's going to come down to between both of you?
Well, you guys have to understand the dynamics of the fight, and the dynamics of the fight is I'm cutting from 185 pounds down to 165 pounds. I get, it's going to be a perfect weight cut, just like I did for my Eagle FC fight. But he fought his last fight pretty lean, looking pretty lean, just about 7 weeks ago. It was in Texas. He fought in Hidalgo, Texas, and he fought at 154 pounds. So when I watched this fight, I was like, wow, well, man, he made 154. I was like, I could never make 154 again in my life. That's a fact. That's a fact. And so just the fact that he made 154, his frame is going to be smaller than mine. My bones are going to be bigger. I'm going to be bigger. I'm going to be the bigger man in there. This is going to be a factor. We're going to be about the same height, but he's going to be a little smaller frame than me, man. And that's going to be huge when I put that clinch on him, man. And when he tries to get away from it. When he tries to flee from the clinch, what's he gonna do? Go backward? Well, then I'm gonna keep throwing straight shots at you, man. Then I'm gonna keep attacking until I can grab you again, and then I'm gonna keep attacking your body, and I'm gonna try to break your ribs. And so, this fight is gonna be a real eye opener for the world that boxing is not bare knuckle fighting championship, and a real wake up that boxers, they can't do that shit that they do. Like, you go watch an Austin Trout fight, he just sits right there. Like, if he was towing the line, he just sit on the outside, throw jabs at air for the whole round. Like it's being effective. I was blown away watching the footage. No insult to him. I've watched some of he's had some good fights, but some of them have not been good. And as far as fighting legends, yeah, he fought Canelo. I fought BJ to the fifth round. You know what I mean? Yeah, he beat Miguel Cotto. I beat Nick Diaz in his prime. You know what I mean? You want to start talking about other legends that I fought, other world champions that I fought. Clay Guida was a world champion. There's Jim Miller's another legend. There's the list goes on and on and on. I did my shit in the UFC, and I never ever was on a padded record. It was more of the opposite. The UFC was trying to get me to get my ass kicked more than watch out for me, the way that the promoters have been protecting Austin Trout his entire career in the fact that he doesn't really fight southpaws because he can't handle the stance adjustment. It's a stance. It's a difference in the stance. He can't handle it. The punches come at you from a different side. He can't handle it. He don't like it. And I watched Lara knock him out and knock him down, and I know that I'm going to give him problems in there. I know that the size is going to give him problems, and I think that Austin's just delusional in the fact that he thinks that he's just going to take off the gloves and just box with no boxing gloves. That's not what this sport is. We toe the line 3 feet away from each other. And I've been fighting with these fingers my entire career. And when you get into a clinch with a state champion wrestler who, like myself, it's different, man. When they put their hands on you, they've been trained, they're stronger, they weren't in a little pillow their whole career. These hands have been working. So when I get my hands on his neck, he's going to feel it. When I put these knuckles in his ribs, he's going to feel it. And I just feel very confident. I feel extremely confident. I feel like this matchup was a blessing from God, in all honesty. Like, it's just a blessing to rejuvenate me, my brand, who I am, and like everybody else, man. We all go through shit in life, man. Sometimes you gotta fucking take some time off, get your head right, clear your mind, and be and live for what you really are and who you are outside of your career, outside of everything. And for me, that's my faith in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, man. And that's what it's always been. That's always been my purpose and my mission. I'm not a pastor, but I do got a great story and a great testimony. And I might have danced with one of these powerful demons that you could not imagine. I've been into the spiritual realms, and I'm here for the people that are like myself, that are interested in and want to learn and want to know about the doubts that they have in certain areas and certain things of spirituality, and the crossing over of spirituality and religion is a big one. But as for right now, the Lord has put on my heart that if I am still in combat sports, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be around the environment. I'm going to be around the people, and that's where He wants me, to help these fighters to deal with some of the stuff that I've gone through, and in the spiritual realms, in the relationship with Christ the Lord. And so I'm on a new walk now, man. I'm really convinced that we're living in the end times with all this crazy shit. Like, as far as many as you could say conspiracy theory or not, but all the crazy shit going on in the world right now, I believe, I truly believe we're in the end times, and people need to get right with their makers. And so I'm just here trying to lead the role, and I'm still going to be in combat sports because I want to help combat sports athletes. I want to be there for the fighters, the actual fighters, to be there to have a relationship with them, to be there to talk with them and pray with them, and let them in on my great story of salvation, and just being remade, renewed, and blessed in the Spirit.
I love it, man. And you've been a part of combat sports for a long time, and I was curious, when you walk through the curtain, is this going to feel just like any other combat sport you've been a part of, or do you feel like nerves, your spirituality? Is something different are you going to feel any different walking through this time around?
No, I've always never really been too nervous about fighting. I just never have really been too nervous about it my whole career. I never was nervous making the walk. I think that's because I was always trained pretty well. I'm sure there were some fights where I wasn't at my 100%, but for the most part, I did the work at Jackson's all my career, and I worked with great athletes, and I put in that hard work on the mountain, and I knew I was in excellent shape, and I could push myself through whatever the parameters of the fight was going to be. And so, yeah, no, I never was too nervous or worried, but now going into this fight, I'm not nervous or worried. I'm just more confident, but it will feel a little different because BKFC has a different production. They do a really good job with their production. I think a little better than some other organizations. And on top of that, it's just going to be different. The fact that I'm going into the circle ring. It's a circle ring. It's white, and I just like it, man. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's going to be a great experience, and I'm just going to go out there and have a great time doing what I do. And it's all about a goal, and I have a goal in mind, a goal that I have to achieve. And so I've set this goal with an intention, and so now I have to go out there and do it. And it's just, this camp's been tough, man. This camp has been hella tough, man, hella tough. Probably one of the hardest training camps of my career, in just putting in that work, training, hot yoga, the weight, and just the diet and the everything. Like, it's been a lot coming off of the layoff since the Kevin Lee fight. It's been a lot of pressure, and it's been a lot of hard work. And so I know that hard work is going to build my confidence in my soul and my spirit. And when I get into that octagon with him, well, it's not an octagon, it's the circle. When I get into the circle with him, I've been saying octagon my whole career. So when I get in that circle, I'm going to put the pressure. I'm going to put my strategy, and I'm going to do what I do. And you guys are going to be entertained. But I'm promising you guys that people are going to be like, oh, we all thought Diego was washed up, and holy shit, he still got it. Same thing they were saying after the Kevin Lee fight, right?
Hey, Diego. So, in our time covering the sport, when we would have friends that didn't really watch mixed martial arts but wanted to start watching, that Nick Diaz fight that you were talking about, that's one that we would point them to. Watch this fight. It's got a little bit of everything. You're going to love it. And you brought up Nick Diaz, but he's under contract. What about Nate Diaz? Does it matter which Diaz?
No, Nate. See, Nate won't fight me because I beat his bigger brother, and he idolizes his bigger brother in this weird way. And I don't think I've been trying to fight Nate for 10 years, but yeah, no. If Nate will, if Nate, if this performance can be so epic and so powerful and dominant, and it will be, I have a chance. I have a chance at snagging that Nate Diaz fight. That's always the fight I wanted too. Because if I beat Nate, then I'm the first guy to ever beat both Diaz brothers. So yeah, of course I want that fight. But I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you all right now, Nate is just like everybody else in combat sports. We're all just trying to get the highest payday we could get. So that, you know what I mean? Like, that's what we're trying to do. Fight, get paid the most we can get paid to do the fight. That's the business of mixed martial arts and boxing and all this shit. So he's got Conor McGregor, he's got Jake Paul, and he's got Floyd Mayweather. He's got those 3 fights that could possibly be big, huge paydays for him. So I'll be around, man. I'll be around, and definitely I'm gonna throw that out there and let him know. But I'm sure he already knows because I've been calling out Nick, and he don't like that either. He don't like that. But he's like, nah, man, I don't want that Diego Sanchez. And I'm like, nah, man, come on, let's do this. What's up? You the real G? You the real G, Nate? Then take off the gloves, homie. Real G's don't wear gloves, homie. Real G's get down in the street, homie. Bone to bone, knuckle to knuckle, And the little bitch ends up buckling. And so let's get it. I'm here to fight. I'm here to fight my I don't know how many fights I'm going to do here at BKFC. I got a really good relationship with Dave Feldman. We built this fight for 3 years. We've been working on this contract and this business for 3 years. So I got a good relationship with him, and I like the company. So I don't see myself going anywhere right away. but I'm still open to doing maybe a retirement mixed martial arts fight. That's also an opportunity. I'm still in this fight game for, we'll see as long as God has me here doing my mission for Him, and what I got to do in the fight in the fights. um, I'm here and I'm going to continue to fight, whether it be MMA, whether it be boxing, whether it be bare knuckle fighting championship. So I'm just trying to cement my legacy. Like, hey, man, I did all this shit. I did UFC. I did fucking King of the Cage. I did boxing. I did BKFC. I did all that shit, and I did it all successful. So you know what I mean. When you want to come and learn some stuff, come to me.
Diego, let's talk about a mutual friend, a brother to us. So we're in Vegas, as you know, our studio at the Mandalay Bay. You've been there many times. We got to know Stefan Bonnar because he was a Vegas brother, we'll say, right? To you,
Absolutely.
he was the Ultimate Fighter season 1 brother. You guys are like a fraternity. It hit us all pretty hard, and I saw your post that buckled you to your knees. But what's your fondest memory of Stefan Bonnar? You guys really, really kept in touch for a long time. I mean, even towards the end, he was cornering you, training with you.
Ah, man, the fondest memory. Man, I don't know. I got some good ones. The fondest memory, probably just being out there in Abu Dhabi with him. And, you know, now that he's gone, it's not like the fighting or the training. It's, I got to spend some time with him and pray with him a little bit. And that's definitely got to be my fondest moment, other than the asparagus fight in the house. Just stepping up to him, just being like, "You ain't gonna punk me, big boy.
Yeah.
You might be bigger than me, but I'm Burka Street. You'll get your ass whooped in this kitchen, homie. There ain't no weight classes in the kitchen, SF. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
And oh yeah, no, he was my brother, man. I loved him, and it's been a tragic loss to lose someone that young, and
Yeah.
you know, and it was just really more heartbreaking for me because I went through my struggles, through the course of 2000 and 2020 and 2021. The whole Fabia scandal, and those were the hard times of my life. But I saw Stefan struggling with things, struggling with regret, struggling with anger and grudges, and I watched him heal himself through it. I watched his house burn down. I watched him through the hard times. And in the end, after the last incident in the ER, he he started getting some people reaching out to him. Dr. Bill Makowski in Utah Stem Cells was helping him out, getting him all the stem cells, all the treatments, not only for him but also for his son, Griffin, autistic children. And so, he was getting his shit together, man. He got a new job working for insurance, and he had the podcast going. And the last message I sent him was like, "Hey, Stefan, I'm here to support you. Anything you need for your podcast, if you ever need me on it, like whatever you need, I got your back. Just know that you're supported, you're loved, and I got your back." And that was the last message I ever heard from him. And I got the call on Christmas Eve, and it kind of ruined my Christmas, really, honestly. Like, I was
Yeah.
super happy with my daughter and my family. Then I'm like driving home, like, fuck, Stefan's gone. He died. Like, what did he die of? Like, what happened? And then you're wondering, because you're like, everybody wonders if it's a suicide, and it's just sad. That's gonna hurt even more heartbreaking, more sad if someone took their own life, in my opinion. If one of my friends killed themselves, that's more heartbreaking to me than if they had a heart attack.
Yeah. Oh, well, those are some really, really nice words about your friend. That's a tremendous final text. I'm sure he read it and thanked you for it. And when you step into that circle to fight Austin Trout, I'm sure you're going to do a prayer and look up. He'll be looking down on you. You guys were very tight for
Absolutely,
the last
absolutely,
almost
man.
2 decades. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, no, I'll never forget that guy, and he was a good guy, man. He wasn't crazy. He wasn't crazy, and he didn't have CTE, and he was really, really intelligent. And he just was just struggling with things of life, after UFC, and just the way things went with Forrest getting the PI job and him not getting the same support from the UFC. He held a grudge there, and he had some, he was battling his demons, and I was right there with him to help him and be supportive of him, and just be a friend and be a homie. But I'll tell you the real truth. Yeah, he came out to New Mexico one time, and we went to the mountains, and I took him for a walk, and we went out there. We walked, man. We walked in the middle of the night, and we walked down this road, and we sat on the road. And this is in the mountains. This is like not like this is like not like campgrounds and shit. This is like real mountains, and we just look up to the stars, smoking a joint together, and that dude was a monster, man. He'd hit that joint. I'm like, damn, what are you, a giant, bro? I'm like, what are you, a giant, dude? Like, save some for me, bro. And that was one of the most special moments for me. Look
Yeah.
up at the stars, and didn't need nothing else, man. And just two homies, two brothers, going through life. Yeah, we all got struggles. We all got trials and our tribulations, man. And the only thing is, I wish I could have spent more time with him before he passed. I wish I could have spoke more about the Lord Jesus Christ to him, because he was more along the Buddhist aspects, and and I always did tell him about Christ, and about my beliefs, and he respected it, and we had respect for each other's beliefs, and we didn't judge each other, and it was a pretty special relationship.
Diego, one last thing, because we have you. We don't often speak with you, but you brought up his name, Joshua Fabia. And you mentioned one more possible MMA retirement fight. So are you locked in with Eagle FC, who hasn't really done another show in North America? Sounds like they may not. Or could you even maybe come back to the UFC now that
Yeah,
that
no,
other
no,
fella's out of your life?
absolutely, yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, right now, I am under contract with Eagle FC for those two fights. I
Uh-huh.
find a 3-fight deal with them, but see, the thing with Eagle FC is they're really cool, man. Like they're cool. Like they're not unreasonable, because they know they're not giving you any shows to fight on. They're not giving you any opportunity. They're like, go get your money, make your money. If you need to make money, and you got a family, go make your money. So that's how I'm fighting right now in BKFC. They had to sign off for it. And so, yeah, no, UFC is definitely still an opportunity. One last retirement fight. I'll let you guys know right now that me and Dana, man, we've had some real discussions. We've had some real talks. We've let bygones be bygones, and like, he don't hate me, I don't hate him. It's all respect there. And so, yeah, there's a big chance that I could do one last retirement fight, build myself back up, and get back in the UFC for one last fight with another great fighter. That would be amazing, and that would be a dream come true, and that'd be the way that I truly like to go out of the UFC. But we'll see. We'll see. We're gonna start with. I gotta hit Dana up and be like, Dana, hey, you think the original Ultimate Fighter could come see some of his fans at the March 4th at the John Jones fight? Like, I want to go see some of my fans. I miss and I love the UFC fans so much. Like, how about can I get some tickets? I know you can't do me a hotel room, but I'll get my own hotel room. Get me some tickets. And so we'll see. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where the road leads. Right now, I'm in BKFC and just still continuing to build myself as a stand-up striker, because my entire UFC career I was doubted, and people just always thought that I couldn't stand up and strike, or that I wasn't a really technical striker. And I put a lot of work in for 20 years to become a technical striker, to have the understanding and the interpretation of what I'm doing out there with the footwork, with the distance, with the vision, with the movement, and putting all these things together, before I was too old to do it. And that's why I'm doing it now in BKFC, because I like striking with no gloves, because the circumference area is smaller, it gets in, they're harder to block. And so you have to fight different. When punches are harder to block, you have to fight different. Like, even if you block a knuckle with your hand, you could hurt your hand. Like, it's a serious sport. This is the way God made us. It's not the full MMA with no gloves yet, but this is the start, and this is the evolution and the adaptation. And we're watching all these fighters that they're just coming in there, and then some of them are brawlers. Some of them are real brawlers. Some of them are boxers trying to be technical, and some of them, are just boxers just thinking that they could take off their gloves and do the same little stuff they did in the boxing ring. But everybody's going to see the evolution of this sport as they watch the evolution of UFC. And I was a big part of that evolution of UFC. And being a pure grappler, coming in, going all my entire career and doing what I did in there, I know that I made a difference. I know that I was a part of that UFC. And that's why I don't change my Instagram name, because you know what, man? I did 17 years. I am the original Ultimate Fighter. I earned that little UFC at the end of my name, because I started that shit. I was the first one before Forrest, and before Bonnar and Forrest did it. Man, I put on my most dominant performance of my career at the age of 22. Like, do you think that it's easy to pass Kenny Florian's guard and maul him? He's a black belt. When I fought him, he was a black belt, and he's really, really good at jiu-jitsu. But you think it's easy to just get in there and just maul a man like that and make him look like a little bit of clay? No, it's not. I did some great things in this sport, and I'm gonna do some great things in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Um, I hope that we can get the legend Nick Diaz out of his contract, or I hope we can get the Nate Diaz. I want one of those big fights. Like, these are the type of fights I want. So for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. So we'll see what happens. And all I know is that I got Austin Trout right now. I feel like this is a considerably safe opponent and a safe fight for me. And I feel that I'm gonna really have my way with him in there, and it's gonna be quite the showing. And he might put some fight back. And if he puts some fight back, that's why I'm training. That's why my rounds are 3-minute rounds. I'm doing preparation for this fight 3 minutes with professional boxers. And actually, I gotta go because I got training.
All right.
I got
It all
sparring.
goes down on February 17th, Friday, February 17th, BKFC Knucklemania 3, Sanchez and Trout in the co-main event, Richmond and Hunt in the main event. Don't miss it. Diego, thank you so much for the time. I hope to see you March 4th in Vegas. You deserve not only tickets, a limo pickup, and hotel. So ask for it all, because you're a legend in the UFC.
Thank you, bro. You
You're
the
the
man for
OG
telling
when
me
it
that.
comes
You
to
the
the
man
Ultimate
for telling me that.
Fighter.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see what Dana says. I'd love to go out there and see Vegas and see the
Yeah,
fans.
your fans want to see you too. Your
And
fans want to see you
I
too,
want
man.
to see John. I want to see John do his thing too, and it's a great story. And I think that it would be pretty cool if they pan the camera to me. And the way I'm visualizing it is like, and we got the original Ultimate Fighter in the house today, season 1, Diego the Nightmare Sanchez. And I'm just gonna be like, yeah, what's up, peeps? Yeah, you like that bare knuckle knockout of Austin Trout? Shit, us MMA fighters can throw down. We do know how to get down. We do know how to fight on our feet. Like, don't be trying to say that boxing is the only way. You know what I mean? This is why this is such an intriguing fight. It is intriguing because it's something that you've never seen before. And that's why I put this fight together with Austin. because I wanted to give the fans and I wanted to give Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship something that would pull from both dynamics of boxing and mixed martial arts and sell as much as I want to be profitable. So, just doing the little business that I can.
Awesome.
You guys have a good one, man. God bless. I got to get to training.
Take
all
care.
right?
All right. We'll see you, Diego. Bye-bye.